Hi everyone, it's Nicole here from Mama Elephant today with a card featuring the brand new Arctic Penguins stamp set and Creative Cuts dies. I'm also using the brand new Jolly and Merry stamp set, which is a bunch of really great greetings that coordinate really nicely with the Arctic Penguins stamp set. To start my card, I have stamped a whole bunch of the penguins from the Arctic Penguins stamp set on some Neenah Solar White smooth cardstock. A few of them were mistake stampings. I didn't particularly like how they turned out. Parts of it were too detailed or not enough. I usually like to stamp them a couple of times just to make sure that I get a really good stamping, especially if it's the first time I have used the stamp. Now you might notice I have numbered several of these. I had already laid the stamps out on my work surface and kind of figured out or determined where I wanted my stamps to go. I'm going to be using 5 of the penguin images and I wanted them all to be different. There are so many images in this stamp set, makes it really easy to use lots of different ones on the design. So I'm going to have them all lined up in a row, and this just kind of helped me remember which one was going where. I'm coloring them in with some cool gray markers, the whites of the tummies, and then a little bit of orange for the beaks and the feet. And I also thought it would be fun to give all of them Santa hats. Where this stamp set doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas, I wanted this one to be a Christmas card, and so I thought it would be fun to have a little row of ice skating Santa penguins. So I've stamped 5 hats and I'm coloring them in with some red Copic markers, and I will die cut all of these images now, and I'll have to use the hat die cut 5 times. The rest of the images I can cut individually. I'm using 5 different penguins, but I will have to repeatedly die cut the hat, which is a little bit of a pain, but it was really worth it with the finished card. Now I'm using a little post-it tape to hold my dies in place. Even though I use the magnetic platform for my die cutting machine, I find that sometimes they still will shift, and so I like to make sure they're not going to move, especially after I've gone through all the effort of coloring in all of those cute little images. For the background of my card, I've used the large stitched rectangle Pikaframe die from Mama Elephant, and I have cut that from some Sea Glass Simon Says stamp cardstock. I've also die cut that from some white cardstock. And then I used the Landscape Trio Mama Elephant dies to die cut that fun scallop border there. I've also die cut the other border along the bottom. Originally I thought I'd kind of have 2 snowdrifts, and I didn't like that. I decided I wanted blue along the bottom. So what I did was die cut another piece of blue cardstock using the Mama Elephant Pikaframe stitched rectangle, and then die cut that kind of wavy, nice scallop border along the bottom. For my greeting, I am using the Jolly and Merry stamp set, and I have stamped the word Merry using the Mama Elephant Rainwater pigment ink. This is one of the brand new colors. I love the new colors of ink they've come out with. The word Christmas and the additional phrase and Happy New Year were stamped using the Slate Mama Elephant pigment ink. So 2 of the new colors right here, all of them are just incredible. I can't say enough good things about the new inks. Once I have my greeting, I wanted it to appear like maybe the word Merry was kind of created by my ice skating penguins. So I'm adding some of these additional little skating lines from the Jolly and Merry stamp set using the Rainwater ink. And I'm simply stamping these kind of randomly around my little skating penguins. Once I have that all finished, I can go ahead and start assembling my card before I add any of those little finishing details. So the layers for my card here today are the base, which is the Sea Glass Simon Says Stamp cardstock, cut with that fun stitched detail border using the Mama Elephant Pika Frames die. Then I have the scallop, cloudy, kind of mountainish type border from white cardstock. Then I have another stitched rectangle from vellum. That kind of helps build that dimension of my card. And finally, I'm finishing with this wavy border from the Sea Glass cardstock, which will be my water or icy type of border that my penguins will be skating on. Now I can simply adhere all my penguins in a little line across my card. And once I have them all in place just how I want them, I can go ahead and attach these Santa hats. And because they are so teeny tiny, I did use some of these small bling size Zotz glue dots to attach these hats to the penguins' heads. And I love that they're all uniform, that they're all wearing these Santa hats. I think that's so fun. So some of them I kind of have them positioned maybe on the side of their head, some of them right on the top, just whatever looked the most natural for the design. Once I have my penguins down, I can add any of those finishing details. So I'm using a black glaze pen from Sakura to add a little bit of additional detail to the eyes. I really think it makes the eyes pop, especially in real life. It is a little hard to see on the video and maybe even in the photos, but I love the detail it gives in real life. I'm adding some little white dots to the cheeks of my penguins. And I'm going to take that white gel pen and add some detail to the word Mary as well. Before I do that though, I'm going to take my Wink of Stella clear glitter pen and I'm coloring in the white portions of the Santa hats and the black areas on the penguins to give them a little bit of glitz and glimmer. So not the whole thing, but just a little touch here and there, and it really adds to the detail of the card. And again, this is one of those things that is much easier to see in real life. I wish it showed up better on the video. So once I have that all done, I can go ahead and there's these little maybe snowflakes falling or just little detail stamps from the Jolly and Merry stamp set, and I decided to stamp a few of those here and there along the bottom of my card just to really draw attention to the ice skating portion and the greeting. They're really fun. I love all of these little stamps like this. I think they really add to the detail of the card. I'm just using the little dots from the stamp set, both the solid and then the open circle. And then I will take that white pen again and I'm going to very carefully just not trace the entire word, but portions of the word with my white gel pen to really draw attention to this scripty word. This is one of my favorite techniques for scripty style words like this. I think it adds so much detail and really draws your eye to the word. I'm going kind of slow. I want to make sure that I'm very careful and only get that white pen exactly where I want it. And I'll just trace all those little areas. The imperfection of it and not tracing the entire word or each letter really makes it much more natural looking, I think. And I did that for the little ice skating pieces as well, just to make the entire thing flow very nicely. And then I filled in the insides of these little circles with the white as well, which just adds another level of dimension to the whole design. I hope you've enjoyed this video showcasing the Mama Elephant Arctic Penguins stamp set and Creative Cuts dies. The supplies I've used are listed and linked below the video on YouTube. For new card making videos every week, please subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.